I'm streaming all over.
So we decided to stream on some Flood a little bit here, there, everywhere. Kind of
Do a little R. Kelly piss tape on the flood.
trying to keep it a little in the Halloween October spirit. Just gonna do
Sorry,
some Firefight just to finish off the night.
well, yes, and let me share the reason why with the viewers. We were actually set on starting Dying Light, but this guy, me, RW Tech here, completely didn't realize that Xbox is slightly retarded when it comes to like. Well, let me just say this: I have a fucking 12 terabyte hard drive attached to this bitch, and this fucking thing can't do auto updates for games that I've had installed for years. So I had a 24 gig update, which depending on the fucking internet and servers, could either take like 10 minutes or 10 hours,
Yeah,
you know? So that will be something we start soon, I presume. Probably either this weekend or next week,
yeah.
just because my brain's burnt, my body's burnt, my soul's oh well, my soul's always been burnt. Do you have a preference in like map? I figure something at night would be a good way to kind
that
of
that that would
get this
be
going.
pretty
Spooky.
pretty what's the word I'm looking for? A good environment, good
You
ambiance.
want any skulls on?
Uh what skulls you thinking?
I wish I would have been your daddy.
Well, Blood don't
I
really.
don't know how that's gonna work with
Yeah, Blood don't
Flood, but
really have any other
maybe they'll,
lines.
maybe they'll, yeah, maybe they'll just be like, "Ugh." Hey, I
You've
guess.
got
Do
red on you.
you want any special weapons, or you just want like this default?
Let's have some fun. Give us some specials.
All right.
It's been so long since I've played Halo Firefight at all. ODST even longer. I remember for a time I was trying to like unlock a bunch of the cosmetics that the game has locked behind like a point system, but eventually I just said, I don't want to waste all my time on this. Maybe one day I'll get them all, but not today.
All right. You said have some fun,
Have
right?
some fun.
Okay.
I know your fun involves putting your balls in a vise and just walking in circles until they pop.
Oh, geez, that. How did you fucking
I
know?
saw your work table right next to the bandsaw.
You. Uh, well, I also think I should turn on grenade regeneration just because I think that would add some fun to this.
Oh man, I got okay. So grenade
But not
regeneration.
unlimited ammo. We don't want unlimited ammo, right?
Yeah, unlimited ammo would kind of make things too easy.
Hold on a second. I just had a text that I got to put the clothes in the dryer, so I can keep talking because this is wireless. But if you don't mind, let's just yapping it up a second so I can do that. So then that way I don't have because I have reminders and shit on my phone, so I don't fucking go,
Yeah.
with because I don't want my clothes smelling moldy. Then
Oh
again,
yeah.
maybe the next time I go to a convention, I should go moldy, so then that way we can get to the front of the line. People just. Oh, can I just give us the viewers an update because we did talk about the whatchamacallit guy, the Unreal Engine guy.
Oh Jesus, that dude.
So there was a press picture that they put up on their Facebook, and he was actually having a moment of joy.
Oh yeah.
I was like, you know what? I just think it was right at the end of the convention.
He's human. As soon as everything's done and over with, he just breaks and the facade drains away. He's like, I have my life back. The programming. It's over.
Like Chief after Cortana dies before they made the fucking series into a joke.
The panel is full, the line is closed. She said that once.
Uh, you know,
Manly tears.
in some ways I can almost appreciate what that guy did because that had to be that
I
is
I mean,
it's a tough
in a
job.
way, it's almost like better to be completely emotionally detached. But like,
Yeah.
there was zero tact.
There's not a yeah, there was not a lot of he was not an empath, right?
Yeah, he definitely let's just say he was there for the job.
I think my headset cut out for a second.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't hear you talking if you were.
I was just talking to myself. I was just making gobbledygook noises.
Hey, oh.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Unlimited time, unlimited score. So this is just going until we die.
Oh well, I didn't realize I did that. But
did you did you not mean to start it? Oh.
No, that's all right.
Oh, time for me to die.
I'm here.
Firefight.
Well, look, we'll probably be on for an hour. So however that hour ends up.
I'm sure it doesn't actually mean unlimited time. Oh, hey. We have NPCs
Hello.
who are probably going to get infected and die very quickly.
Do you like my choice of weapon?
I appreciate the rocket launcher and the golf club, yes. Probably gonna die horribly trying to use these things, but woo! What the heck? Moon gravity.
I just gotta lower my game audio.
It's a little bit too loud.
It is. Doesn't the music kind of sound like the Mass Effect 1 Normandy music?
It's a little ethereal, man. That just kind of makes me want to play Mass Effect.
Actually, you know what? You want to talk about a follow-up when you're done with Disco Elysium? That would be a beautiful series to go through.
I always thought about streaming it, but I promised myself that I'd beat the game, and do a new game plus. That way, if I wanted to carry on to 2 and 3, I would have a specced out character.
You gonna go femshep?
No, I'm a lame brain. I always have to make my guys in any RPG a self-insert.
I've always usually played as male shep, but I did do a femshep playthrough a couple years ago.
Femshep is cool.
Cool.
Femshep is a very charming and very good character.
Although in both options, I always resort to Liara. So.
I'm a Tali guy.
We know who your favorite
Tali
is.
all the way.
We know. She's a legitimate choice. And I mean that in every sense. She's a great character.
She's adorable. I love it.
Who is probably in some ways the most complex of the female companions, because Liara is to an extent too, and I never hated.
Tali's if Liara had the opposite character arc. Instead of getting darker, she instead got more positive. They're almost two sides of the same coin, because I could almost say Liara's kind of also a good choice for that sort of nerd girl. It's just Liara she becomes a fucking shadow broker.
Well, she had to do what no one else could.
Yeah.
Be the leader of our extremely sinister criminal syndicate. If that doesn't get your rocks off, I don't know what will.
I'm so happy that I do believe I have a majority of the DLC, so I pretty much have all the 2 DLC and all the 3 DLC.
People like the shit on Ashley Williams. I never hated her as a character. It's just that her character feels kind of inconsistent, because you see her in 2 for 10 minutes and she just shits on you.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue. They did Ashley and Kaden dirty, because basically they took.
Then they become sappy in 3. They become these sappy love interests.
I didn't really mind that though. Like, I honestly thought it was all right that like Caden was like reminiscing about like if you did Caden's like romance in 1 with Fem Shep and did Caden's romance in 2, like he's just reminiscing about like how good he fucking dicked down Fem Shep. He's just like, yeah, it was pretty good, wasn't I? It's just I find that so charming. He's just like he's kind of like that jock who finally realizes what real love is. He's just like, he's kind of Van Wilder in a way, just a little more subdued and a lot less perverted.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, all these things. He's gonna go
I
fall.
never, the only problem is I never usually kept Caden alive on the playthroughs, even though in some ways he's a better written character.
It like weirdly enough, like the bizarre headcanon like I got, like, is like usually like it's gonna sound weird. In 1, I never technically do a romance. I always save Caden, let Ashley die, and then like in 2, like I kind of experience it as sort of a broken shepherd, like leading on to Tali. But it's a very fruity way to look at the game. I admit that.
Oh, at least who knows? Maybe next time you'll be leading on to Garrus. You know?
Oh god. Somehow I unlocked the cheat code to fucking fuck Garrus as a dude. I tested her dexterity. She tested my she tested my flexibility. Well, how about I test your flexibility, Garrus? I almost said Shepherd.
We're gonna have Austin do a gay playthrough of Mass Effect.
Gay playthrough.
He's just gonna
he fucks whatever the bodybuilder's like best friend is.
The one, is that the one in 3 you're talking about?
Yeah, the guy who drives the ship, and if you don't like tell him like he's a good dude in like the least homoerotic way, like he just fucking crashes the shuttle at the end of the game and dies.
I got headcanon for that now. Remember that joke line in original Spider-Man where like the Macho Man's character, Peter taunts him and he's like, "Did your husband make that for you?"
Oh yeah. People got so chapped about that. But yeah, continue.
Well, people are cunts,
you
know. And not in like the good sense, like, you know, like these nice like luscious vaginal lips. I mean, they're like some like stewed out fucking like, you know, just like prolapsed vagina cunts when we talk about cunts.
That's an image that I never thought I'd like imagine.
Hey, well,
I've seen it, but I never thought I had to imagine it.
You know, it's something you can't unsee either. You know, it's one of those.
It's like seeing the face of God or knowing some unknowable like fact. You just can't get away from it once you unlock the door. I'm doing terrible.
There is a lot of dirty knowledge, you know.
I'm just wasting all of our lives. I'm sorry.
Well, we do have 50.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, I gave us 50 lives. Because I know that heroic can make people feel heroic. You know, rush first in the battle. Heroic can give you a false sense of security because it's a little. It's
okay, there are so many fucking flood forms. This is ridiculous.
Oh, but like my thing is like I would love to stream the Mass Effect trilogy too because
they're such good games.
Well, and I even 3 I now can appreciate because like I never hated it, but like when it came out, I was disappointed.
Yeah, it was a legit disappointment because it's basically, hey, you see all these characters you care about, they all die in really fucked up ways. Have fun.
Well, they also really limited the like amount of like player choice.
Yeah.
In, like, every single aspect.
Because you pick one dialogue choice, and then all of a sudden, like Shepard starts talking on his own.
Yeah. So, but it's still a good conclusion to the series.
Yeah.
You know, it's
relatively all right. Yeah, it could have been a lot better. And the unfortunate thing is, for some reason, EA thought they had to change the story after the story got leaked. That's the biggest issue. They rewrote that from the ground up, and the lead writer had already quit.
It's like the Dark Knight Rises or Spider-Man 3. It's something that was like overhated,
Yeah.
and it's like it's never gonna be as good as the first two
Yeah.
entries, but it's like in hindsight, it's like, oh, this is actually not bad. It's actually serviceable.
Could be a lot
You know,
worse.
and it doesn't. It could be Andromeda, for
Oh
instance,
God.
which I have the honor of saying I never bought and never played and never will and never want to.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
happy that you never did, because oh man, that poor game. It had
there's been
so
some
much
games that I was
potential.
very, yeah. Well, the sad thing is, it doesn't seem like BioWare has like.
Oh no, they're
Dragon
fully
Age
on
is-
board the we're gonna fucking suicide train.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that new Dragon Age. But that is,
Don't worry, we'll focus modeling time on top scars instead of actually probably making a decent story, because nobody can make a fucking story anymore.
well, it's like that one guy that I said you ever know,
Jesus.
that Big Dan Gaming.
What the fuck?
Have you ever watched?
I just died again.
I'm dead too.
They got rocket launchers. They have to have.
Actually, shout out to this guy. I've been watching his videos for a long time. Big Dan Gaming. He basically went through a lot of the red flags of that game.
Yeah.
And he's not like this overtly like, you know what I mean? He doesn't really get into like the politics of gaming, but like if a game doesn't look good, he calls it out. Like, and I can appreciate that. He does it in a very neutral way though. So it's like he's not like doing where like, you know, where like the obvious like joke is like the fact that they made like a stupid fucking top fucking choice, you know, whatever like top.
Basically, the
Which, by the way,
scars when you take your tits out.
Well, the funny thing is, what is that surgery? It's called a mastectomy, I believe, and that's what they do for women who have the horrific
Breast cancer.
you know, the horrific thing of breast cancer. And it's like, oh, that's our way of treating someone who thinks that they're a man. It's like, okay, listen, I don't mind like if somebody wants to be transgender, but like when you start advocating that shit to like especially like teenagers and kids to get that shit done, that's where I very strongly draw the line and tell those people to go fuck themselves. It's like, you want to do that as an adult. I think that's a terrible, destructive decision that you're going to reject. Ellen Page. But do what you want to do. But when you start pushing like kids that are like just suffering from depression or like, you know, maybe being because a lot of times it's targeting kids that are like the wallflowers, right? The ones that really don't like.
At the end of the day, like pretty much the cynical part of my brain always says, "Oh yeah, they just want to turn these kids into fetish objects so they can fuck them."
Well, that's got to be some of it. I mean, that's got to be a good deal.
It's a majority of it. Like, I don't even care what people say anymore. It's legit, like, all I ever see. Just pedophiles convincing these kids to mutilate themselves because A, they think it's funny, and B, they want to fuck them.
And why do like a lot of these modern psychologists hate Freud? It's because Freud might have said some very messy things, but they actually do kind of hark at this very true thing about like people's ids.
Yeah.
And a super ego. It's like that. This is like a real
There's
thing.
evil parts of humans.
Yeah, and it's like these people have let their ids take over. They want it's actually, this is really disturbing to say this, but I think it's true. They have let themselves think that their id is their super ego. They think that the thing that is the best. They think the thing that's good for society is actually the darkest and most disturbed and perturbed shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
It is.
It's kind of like a hive mind. Like, you know, as we're fighting a flood on this very spooky fortnight before Halloween. Oh, I hate the term. But
you only hate it because the game sucks.
Yeah, it's not even like it's not even like a bad.
It's a
game.
baby game.
It's very. It's like. Look, I mean, if I was like 10 when that game came out, I probably would have played it. But even then, I would have been like, this is not the best game ever. It's sort of like, God, it's like, and actually, I think this was a better game growing up with, but it's like RuneScape back in our era. It's like, you know, you can look, like, I can look back at that with nostalgia, but I know from like a technical level, that was not a great, like, the gameplay of that game was not great. It was like baby's first MMORPG, you know?
Still
At
It's
least
still a
it wasn't
decent game,
so
but like, yeah, but like basically it was like everybody's like gateway drug to playing stuff like Final Fantasy
Yeah.
because it was very similar. Like it's basically WoW for free, and then you can make
Yeah.
it a little less WoW for free by becoming a member.
Oh boy. Do you remember like everybody had like a scam with that too, where
Yeah.
like people would convince people. Like I'm pretty sure I might have done some scamming on that
Yeah.
game even.
All I ever did
Not
was
that
sell bronze armor down in the square.
bronze armor for sale. The fact that they made that game actually like the graphics semi decent, I think actually took away with it because part of the charm was sort of like it's kind of like the charm if you hook up like an old Atari. It's like part of the charm is in like the just like the terrible nature of how this game looks and plays.
Yeah, but
You
like,
know?
there's still a lot of heart and soul in it, and that's why I like part of me always
It's
like
a passion,
thinks about like going
passion
back,
project.
like just taking a look and playing it a little bit and seeing like how things have changed, what stayed the same.
Well, do you know what they have? They have specifically. It's actually like even an app you can get on your phone. They specifically have just like with WoW has done WoW Classic. They have RuneScape Classic, which
It took
literally
forever for WoW to fucking do WoW Classic.
it's
John
when they
Jafari
realized
had
that
to
they
throw a
really
fucking bitch fit to try and get WoW Classic, and they still didn't make
it's
it.
yeah, it's once they realized, oh wait, people don't like what WoW has become. We actually should probably try to give people.
Oh,
the
come on, guys.
Good.
Come on. Kung Fu Panda update was totally a good update, guys. Do you guys not
I'm glad I
have
never got
phones? Oh, no, that was Diablo.
Same assholes.
Same
though.
assholes.
That's part of the reason why I'm glad I never got into WoW, just because like I'm glad I picked Final Fantasy 14 as my MMO. Let me put it that way, because that game.
Well, you
has
want to know the
really
best part about
disappointed.
Final Fantasy 14? Most of that game is free now.
Most of that game is free now, and also, well, it's actually it's free in the sense that it's like a gateway drug. It's free until you hit level 80, but then when you hit level 80, you're gonna be like addicted to it, and you're gonna give them the fucking $10 a month or
Yeah.
whatever it is for their service. But yeah, that is
So,
true.
so does it like cut you off wholesale once you reach 80?
They give you like free boosts every now and then, but yeah,
I
mean,
imagine it
paying
takes
for it now.
forever to get to 80, though.
It does. And there's also things that it limits you on. But honestly, like the amount of content that game has, it like justifies having a subscription because like you can literally just decide like, oh, I'm gonna become a fucking fisherman,
Yeah.
and you could literally spend hundreds of hours just on one job. Like it's a game that's like chock full of content.
Well, like when I first
You know what I
started playing it, I was following the warrior path, but then I was like, I wonder what this tailor path's all about, because I kind of like sort of what's the word oh, I forget the specific term for it, but like transmogrifying like equipment to look like other equipment.
Yeah.
Like that's always kind of my thing, because I always find a really cool armor set, but because of the nature of like RPGs like that, eventually you're gonna find a better one, and you might as well just switch to the better one. No point in upgrading the one you already have, because you're just gonna find a better one after that.
It's kind of funny that like Square Enix could just look at that series and why it's successful and maybe figure out how to make its other IP successful, but they just like with like reckless abandon ignore what Final Fantasy 14
Yeah.
does. That's, by the way, that's the only thing that's kept that company afloat. You know, that's the only game that really is like a major profit turner for it, because people appreciate
What the
that
fuck?
they have not like
Are those
Ooh,
enemies?
Sentinels.
Are those enemies?
Yeah,
They are enemies.
they are.
That's not fair. That's not fun at all.
They fly. They fly now.
No, they don't fly now. Fuck off. I love how that became a meme. Poor.
Yeah, was that the death of the series, or is that just like the corpse of it, like giving its last, like shitting out its last shit?
Ow. What's the name of the guy who plays Poe?
No lives left.
I don't know. He's a pretty good actor,
I
though.
like him. Like, people thought he was going to play Solid
Yeah.
Snake, but that turned out to be a wash. I don't think he would have made a good Solid Snake, but I'd like to see him try.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know why Hollywood doesn't like. There's literally hundreds of like up and coming actors they could find that'd be a more convincing Solid Snake.
Well, they're all about like name recognition, who sucks dick the best, so they can abuse him backstage. Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to repeat that part.
I guess that is part of their job, you know. The dick sucking.
I hate Hollywood. I hate Hollywood with a fucking passion because it's basically a bunch of clowns getting paid millions of dollars to be clowns. It's stupid. The king would have court gestures thrown at a fucking town if they were anywhere near as insufferable as Hollywood actors.
Well, it's kind of funny that like they've always like not it's like Hollywood like movie actors always like shit on like they always shitting on like TV actors and TV shows.
Well, it's because it's the age-old thing. It's they don't want people watching them. They want more people watching themselves. And what's the best way to do that? Undercut the competition and say, hey, they're shit. Don't listen to them. In fact, I'm going to lobby to get these shows canceled.
Well, I can tell you, the Penguin is a much better experience than Joker 2.
Nice. Is there still butt rape?
Oh, God. No, but there is a scene where he's naked and tortured, but it makes sense in the context of the show.
Got junkled.
And he's tortured by a fairly attractive Italian woman who was a serial killer.
Oh, jeez.
Alleged serial killer. Oh, it was pretty good. I wouldn't mind if she did that to me.
I bet you would.
Actually, I would because she did put like barbed wire to his arm and like started cutting him.
Ow!
It was nasty. Yeah. God, that's actually amazing how Colin Farrell like, because like he did it for the Batman movie, but the fact that he like literally made an entire fucking TV series where he was in that makeup.
Well, it's like if you actually watch his interviews talking about becoming the Penguin, he legit said like it's actually very freeing getting to put all these prosthetics on and people don't recognize you as yourself. Hell, you don't even recognize you as yourself. So you get to actually fully envelop yourself in this character that they've asked you to become. Actually, like that's why like I really love Colin Farrell. He's such a he's an old school actor. Like he's like a Christopher Lee. He's all about just doing the job and doing it good.
And he doesn't seem like a cunt about it. Then again, that's a lot of the charm of the Irish. Is someone that met fucking Roger Clark. They have a witty way of doing things.
He's a very well-spoken man for an Irishman. And that's not to say all Irishmen can't speak well. It's to say he knows how to say every other sentence without saying fuck or cunt.
Top of the morning to you, lads. Fuck or cunt.
Fuck or cunt. Sorry, that's O'Malley. He has Tourette's. Just don't listen to him. Fuck or cunt. Fuck or cunt.
What a beautiful little country that is. One of the only places in Western Europe that's where the people are sticking up for themselves.
Very violently sticking up for themselves.
Oh, you know what, Fred? Not that I condone violence, but I understand why they're doing it.
I don't fucking blame them.
They seen the rest of Europe turn into a shithole, and they said, you know what?
Enough.
You know, that's why Sam Hyde turned Irish for that one fight.
I'm gonna kill you at your house. Los Angeles!
what a little not a little.
Imagine being so fucking like limp-wristed and dickless that you actually thought Sam Hyde was going to come and fucking murder you.
No, come on, Fred. We gotta say the word. Hassan Piker is a little fucking faggot.
Yeah. It's separate streams, so we get to knock the counter back. I get 20. I'm going to talk to Twitch staff. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll fuck them. Don't worry, they'll give me all the fucking privileges in the world.
You're going
to... I am going to turn that little fucking dork behind the desk inside out. I'm going to suck him dry.
He's gonna have a chrome fucking dick when you're done.
It's going to be polished and inflamed. Please, no more, Dead Wars. No.
Sir, that was the janitor.
Get over here. No.
can't do anything to help you with your channel. I know, I was just sending a message.
It's about sending a message.
Ba-
If he
Batman
can suck
goes-
to me, he can suck to you.
It's like that scene with the Joker. What this city just showed is that they believe in good. They believe that if you use the word faggot, you can go to Twitch headquarters.
And then Batman rapes Joker.
That would have been more. That would have been more.
That was a
poetic
way
than
different
what happened
movie.
in
Like
that
Heath Ledger just like, no, the reason I killed myself wasn't because I drove myself crazy. It's because right after Christian Bale in the Batman suit just raped the fuck out of me.
Well, they just make Brokeback Mountain, but it's with Batman and Joker. I can't.
You know, it'd be funny, like if, like in a different timeline, Jake Gyllenhaal was Batman as well as the guy who fucks him in Brokeback Mountain.
But but then they actually use that line as a nod to that movie, where like where Batman goes, "I can't quit
I
you."
just can't quit you, Joker.
Uh,
Oh God. I wouldn't even know how to feel. I just want to see it. Just like seeing Joker get jonkled. I just need to see this through. I must.
Michael Caine walks in, and he's just like, what's just going on here?" He actually, that'd be the crying scene from Dark Knight Rises. He just
I saw what
awkwardly
you
cries.
did to Joker, Mr. Wayne.
You let Rachel die.
Oh God, I remember me and my buddy Jack had a horrible bit about about Michael Caine at the end of Dark Knight Rises. Like he just like he sees Bruce Wayne sitting across like from him at the at the cafe at the end. And instead of like just smiling wistfully like, "Oh, Master Wayne's and I," he just walks over and punches him in the mouth. And he's like, "I thought you were dead. Oh, I saw them bury you in the ground. I fucking warned you, you asshole."
Uh,
I saw your corpse. Who did I bury?
at least Christopher Nolan managed to end that trilogy on like a good note, and B,
Yeah.
like basically gave us like a tease of something that never would actually come into fruition, which is I actually think a good
Yeah.
thing. But like it didn't, like, even though that movie was like very long, the actual like ending didn't overstay its welcome. It wasn't like some fucking like jerk off session like Marvel likes to do with their endings. Batman saved the day. He revealed to Gordon who he was, and then wham bam, fucking Anne Hathaway, which is kind of a pretty goated ending.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, pretty much every actress that they've had as Catwoman has been like fucking hot, you know. Even the mixed chick in the new Batman,
Lenny Kravitz's daughter or whatever.
She could do unspeakable things to me.
Yeah,
So could Halle Berry.
She's all right.
God,
She didn't.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Did she ever make any like stupid fucking tweets about like race baiting? Probably.
I don't know. She's probably, but that's okay. She can be fixed.
You can fix her.
A lot of these women's liberalism can just be fixed by a good fucking, but that's just that's don't quote that. I mean, anyways.
Consensual fucking, by the way, nothing else.
Yes, yes, this is no Joker.
No jonkling. No jonkling. Please, no jonkling.
Michelle Pfeiffer back in the day. Whew.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, have you seen the like behind the scenes scene where she did the scene where she like whips all the mannequins and like afterwards like it's just like this amazing moment where you realize it was done like in one take on screen and everybody was like, "Fuck yeah."
She did a great job as Catwoman.
Really good.
Batman
Like
Returns.
just crazy enough.
That's, by the way, that's probably the quintessential out of all the Batman movies. I think that's the one that makes the most sense to watch around like Halloween or the holiday season, because it's very timeless. Like as much as I like the Nolan films, as much as I like the the new Batman, as much as I like the even like the '89. I think the one with Danny DeVito, Christopher Walken. And if you want to feel like you have head trauma, just watch Batman Forever. Or no, Batman and Robin.
Batman Forever is the good one.
Good in the sense that it's not the one with Mr. Freeze. It's
I don't
still
know. I
fucked up.
still have a really soft spot for like Batman and Robin. It's so tongue in cheek, and honestly, it's not nearly as bad as anything we've got now.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's just not a very good
Oh, I
movie.
hate how you fuckers have the fucking overshield.
You know what makes it a fun movie, and the fact that like Batman was able to recover from that. Because like if that really like perma killed Batman, then we would still look back on that movie with
Oh
like
yeah,
fucking anger. I love Nostalgia Critic's review of that. Actually, I've been like on a Nostalgia Critic like tier because like for the longest time I just didn't watch his shit, and I realized like you know what, this guy is still like chugging out
yeah,
videos and they're still pretty good. And like, look, he made some mistakes, but like the fact that like people are still trying to excoriate
yeah.
him and not just like like he is such what he did was so mild. Oh,
Mild in
he
comparison
didn't
to
cheat us.
everybody.
He bought you Subway. The guy is just an independent creator, you stupid assholes. He's not responsible for what fucking Jew Wario did.
Yeah.
It was just the guy who was on his
If
fucking
anything, you
website.
guys are more fucking culpable because you hit it and you knew. You fucking knew and you didn't tell anybody. Because he was your
I
friend.
enjoy watching Nostalgia Critic, and I'm not afraid
What's actually
to
funny is
admit
I watched one of his most recent videos talking about one of my favorite kids' movies, fucking Kindergarten Cop. He gave,
great
yeah, he
movie.
gave it a fair shake, and I was like, yeah, thank you, Doug. Thank you for making this. I even left a little comment
Well,
just like, thank you.
his video, he's actually improved his like video production too. Not that it was ever
Yeah,
bad, but like you can watch his newer stuff and be like, wow, this is a guy who's actually become like technically a better reviewer. Like he's not just doing what he did when he started out, which he always had like a good sense of like being able to review
yeah.
stuff. But like he's definitely grown as a reviewer, while
Like
also
like
like
people always accuse like Doug of being unfunny. It's not that he's like technically like
he
unfunny.
just get too hammy.
He's very dry. Like you said, his biggest
Or
inspiration is like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Looney Tunes and stuff like that.
he can also let a bit overstay its
Oh yeah,
welcome.
like in the Kindergarten Cop, there was no run-on bits. It was mostly just stuff that was like it was one and done. There was no big like epic like background noise that was happening in the review. He just talked about the movie, which I think was always
Well,
the
and by the
biggest
way,
crux.
yeah, like no, that's why I think he's become a better reviewer over the years. And like,
Fuck the fuck off,
look at
you fucking big ass bitch.
if you're one of these people like me that would stopped watching him, give him a fair shake because like you'll actually be, I think,
Yeah, just
surprised at like how much
search up a movie from your childhood. 9 times out of 10, they'll talk about it, and like at least he'll crack at least a funny dry joke about it on occasion. You might not like it, you might not hate it, but at least he'll talk about
yeah. Um, and I'll say the same for like James Rolfe. Like, I'll tell you, James Rolfe, though, I have a way of knowing whether or not I'll like one of his more modern
it. Yeah,
AVGN episodes. If he overhams it with the skits and shit, then I'll know, like, oh,
oh yeah,
okay, I'm just really not going to get much out of this. Because, like, it was funny back in 2008, 2009, even 2010 when he did that shit. But really, once he got to, like, making an entire movie that was, like, just one big skit, it's like, okay, James, we get the message. You're good at doing those. But, like, what made the AVGN character more enjoyable was the moments where he was actually much more candid and then like also interjected the occasional shit
yeah.
piss
Well,
fuck.
I even
And
to play devil's advocate to that for a sec though, like if that's the case, you could always just watch his like James Rolfe like sort of videos where he's just not playing the character. Same with same with Nostalgia
yeah,
Critic. Like
yeah.
people to this day say his best like video, which I agree with, is his video talking about the mask. Really incredible video, and it really goes into like
Yeah.
passion and love of the series since time immemorial. It's just such a good video. You're actually doing yourself a disservice if you don't watch it.
But my thing is, it's like my rationale for like saying that with the nerd is like when he was the character, the nerd.
Yeah.
It worked best when there was a game that he had a direct connection with in his
Oh
childhood.
yeah.
But so when he's like reviewing a game like with the skit and it's a game he really never played, or it just doesn't hit the same. Where he does like more of like the AVGN where he's still the nerd but he's doing more of a retrospective and actually not just like the full skit shit all the time, where it's almost like he's kind of like in between James Rolfe and the nerd character at times. I think that those are the best ones. Like if you go back and you watch like his review of like Mario 3, like that definitely had a lot of skits in it, but it also had like the nerd like seriously discussing aspects of gameplay, and like it made it feel like it balanced out a lot of it, which I think that's where like that was my favorite era of the nerd. Like because obviously the first like dozen or so episodes were very rough, but still like obviously enjoyable. But like from like 2008 to like 2011, I'd say he really like it was just great video after great video. And then like I guess there was the whole deal with like Screenwave or that one affiliate he had. And then like it seemed like they made him just pump out episodes which were not as inspired. But then he still had like some pretty entertaining ones. Like he had one where Macaulay Culkin showed up, like literally.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Gilbert. Yeah, those were cool. But like then he would like review like big rigs like racing, which I'm like that was a fun episode, but like I don't think the nerd would have like
played big rigs over the road.
Yeah, so it's like his best moments are either like a game where he legitimately is connected to it, or him being more of like kind of a step in between James Rolfe and the nerd. But once again, he's a guy who like is able to like understand like what made him successful and still keep that around, but also like be himself. Like unlike some assholes online that just sell out and become like these twisted fucking these cretins. And I'm also really glad that him and the Irate Gamer eventually kind of like patched things up.
Well, I don't think there was ever really any like true beef, but it is kind of like annoying to have this guy like in the background basically aping off your bit and like stealing your videos.
But the thing is, like everybody in early YouTube did that to each other.
Oh no, I know. Like just look at the fucking the game dude.
You could even like
who lost his fucking mind. You could
even like but you could even like go to AVGN and be like, well, AVGN basically stole classic game room shtick. He just made an angry version of like a channel like Classic Game Room.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm so sad. I'm so sad that Classic Game Room basically is retired because like he tried relaunching the show this year.
Oh fuck!
No. It's very sad because like his just very like at times like very like comical, but also like just incredibly like relaxing way of talking about games. Like because he didn't like his videos never felt scripted. Like they always felt like he just sat there and was talking about a game he played. It's almost like if you have like an uncle like that that's like that kind of guy that just sits around for story time. That's how he always reviewed his games. Mark Bustler, I think his name is. He's from PA, I believe, because he talks a lot about Pennsylvania beers. So just like this guy must be from PA. But he was a really cool like YouTuber. And it's kind of sad that he's kind of like not been able to bring that show back just because people have. It doesn't. Well, his point is that people don't have the type of attention span for that type of review show, which is true. But isn't it kind of interesting? And I'm going on a tangent, Fred. But isn't it kind of interesting? Like people either will like sit there for 3 hours and watch a video, or like if a video doesn't get their attention in like 30 seconds, they'll never fucking watch it.
Well, I have a very specific like
a weird attention span.
I know, it's actually statistically like getting worse.
But then like if a video doesn't really hit in the first few seconds, they don't really give it the time of day.
Well, most of like my like decision.
Hello?
Oh, can you hear me?
Fred?
Oh shit!
Hello?
Give me a sec.
Where did the audio go? Can you hear? Hello? Brad?
Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
Well, okay. I think I can hear. Hello?
Trouble hearing part of your game chat. Okay. I think I'm good now. My controller died.
Well, I just went on a tangent.
No, I heard the ass end of it, but yeah. The attention span problem is getting worse. Apparently, that's why like people with like Maxor style like quick cut editing are getting popular now. Because if there's not something happening like every 20 seconds, people get bored and click off. Me, I'm kind of the opposite. Usually, like I'll watch a video all the way through, but if anything like pisses me off in the video, I'll immediately click off. Like I could be like in a video like almost all the way like to the end of it, and they say one wrong thing or something fucking stupid. I just like say, nope, fuck you.
Are you saying you're stubborn, Fred?
Well, I'm saying if somebody like is talking about like a video game.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that you. That doesn't mean they might like somebody might say something you disagree with, but you can respect the perspective. You're fine with that.
But if it makes
What
me
you're saying
angry,
is
like fucking Super Eye Patch Wolf saying that the cave people in Fear and Hunger are somehow Native Americans, or what's that one fucking fruitcake?
What?
Oh, you didn't hear that? There's also this in praise of
What did he say?
He talked about Fear and Hunger, and he said the Fear and Hunger like cave people, the blue cave people in that game are offensive because they are representing Native Americans when they're fucking weird incestuous cave people.
Jesus fucking Christ!
And then did you ever see the kerfuffle with fucking that one douche canoe like in praise of shadows or whatever, the bread tuber who said the Jupiter clan were justified in raping and murdering like the poor people who got stuck in the desert in The Hills Have Eyes because they're white. And like the Jupiter clan can represent like disenfranchised black people, Native Americans on the reservation, and all like yeah, all the atrocities in history. No, they are all linked to this cannibal cult who is completely justified in raping and murdering and marauding.
Yeah, that shit makes me turn off a video too. In fact, I don't know how people like.
Don't apologize for shitty behavior, people. If you have a cannibal cult, they deserve to die.
Well, I'm also like, there's like, people can like redeem themselves. People can make blunders, but like, if you're someone that's like one of these like video essayists and you do something like that, I'm sorry, you lose your credibility.
Yeah. Well, BreadTube is a fucking cesspool anyway, and he's a big old bread tuber.
Oh God, that fucking H bomber guy. That fucking, he is. You know what pisses me off is that like there was actually a legitimate conversation that could have been had about like plagiarism on YouTube, but like where he loses me, other than the fact that he drove a guy to like a suicidal state allegedly, or like he needlessly shat on the AVGN, which it's like okay, yeah, the AVG there was some issues with like some of the videos, but it's like you just instead of going after like the people that like clearly were in charge of that, you just made it like a fucking
well he was trying he was trying to cut down people who were popular because he wanted people to watch them more. It's the fucking Hollywood
shit pisses me off. What he did at the Internet Historian was fucking nasty.
Yeah, like
because he misrepresented the entire thing. He basically imagine if you did an essay and you forgot to put the footnote on the essay, and then the teacher basically tore it up and said you plagiarized 0, even though everything else was done correctly.
Yeah.
He took a simple fucking mistake. He did something which, and then like this is the point that I saw somebody make a few days ago, and because people have been bitching about H Bomber guy with something else retarded he did. I don't even know what he did, but I'm sure it was retarded. But it's like, you know, he completely like didn't go over the fact that like Internet Historian makes these like well animated videos that he puts his heart and soul into, and like he just points out what a fucking cocksucker. Yeah. I'm sorry, what a fucking.
Well, it's
like that's like in a homophobic sense, but what a fucking faggot.
Well, it's like the thing with like H Bomber guy is like I never like believe in any sort of argument for like fucking plagiarism on the internet at all because it's the internet and everybody fucking does it. The moment you start mincing words is the moment that there's a crackdown, and all of a sudden, it's not just the guy you wanted to fucking slap down, it's everybody getting in trouble because you had to be the fucking dickhead who said, well, it's wrong in this specific case. And the way the internet works, it means it's wrong in every fucking case. Just look at the fucking adpocalypse on YouTube. You want to start another one of those, you fucking dip ass. Like, seriously, fuck you. The plagiarism argument is moot. I don't fucking care. Like, even if there was good points, it always comes from a place of disingenuousness.
Well, the problem is, like, the problem is they don't understand what they're saying.
Well, they understand exactly what they're saying. They understand exactly what they're saying, and they know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to undercut somebody else so they get more views, which it never works that way. It's like Phil Lamar bitching about... Yeah, it's like Phil Lamar in Pro ZD bitching about, like, people of different races getting to play Asians and black people, and then they fucked up because they realized they're only allowed to play Asians and black people now.
Fred, I don't mean to fucking interject because you're on it, like, you're fiery right now, but, like, Phil Lamar did that.
Yeah. Phil Lamar. Samurai Jack. The Japanese man.
Fred, that hurts.
I know it hurts. Because it sucks. Because I love Samurai Jack.
That's not some whiny little fucking cunt like Pro ZD. That's like, that's... I didn't need to know that.
It hurts. It hurt me when I heard it. But I was like, no, fuck you, dude. I know what you're doing. You just wanted to steal work from everybody else. And then you fucked yourself over, so you deserve your comeuppance. It sucks.
And this is a guy in his 50s. This is not like some like idiot like in their 20s or whatever that's just saying shit that because
it's like it's so hypocritical because literally everybody as soon as he said it, he's like, hey, Phil, you're black, right? Stop playing Samurai Jack then. You fucking asshat. It's so dumb.
I'm not kidding. I'm not like
I can hear your heart breaking. It's the same response I had when I learned it. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Did it have to be you, dude? I know. Because I love Phil Lamar's characters. I love every role he played in my childhood.
You know deep down he doesn't even buy
it. He doesn't believe it. But he's probably, like, he's in his 50s. He's looking for work. But the work pool is getting, like, lower. But instead of trying to improve his craft and put himself out there, no, he tries to cut people down. It's like, why? It's hard enough as it is without making it...
Was this a recent thing he said? Or
well, it was around the same time that Pro ZD was bitching about, like, people being not Asian playing Asians. The
George Floyd era? The George Floyd era?
It was around that fucking time. Like, but, like I said, these people fucked themselves in the end because then they got pissed that they were only playing Asians and black people. And it's like, you did it to yourself. You have no right to fucking bitch. Your fault, like, not ours.
That fucking guy that played Shang-Chi in the live action movie.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if you've seen that. Did you see that clip? He was on, like, the Canadian version of Shark Tank, and some, like, white gay guy went on there.
Oh, God! I didn't listen to the clip, because I was just watching it. I thought it was just some dickhead. Fucking Jesus. Even he's, like, what? So give me the gist of it.
So basically, he was complaining because, A, it was a non-Asian person.
Oh, and he was making boba tea. Oh, fuck off.
And it didn't have the history of boba tea, which is like, it's like, okay, like...
And wasn't it just portable boba tea in a fucking bottle?
Should every white male invention get, like, a label on
there?
Well,
that just, like, that weirdly enough reminds me of, oh, God. Like, did you ever see the video of the black narcissist, like, walking into, like, a boba tea place and trying to claim that boba tea is all Africanized culture and you're stealing it to a bunch of Asian people? It's kind of like the inverse, like an Asian person looking at a white guy and it's like, you don't deserve this because you're white.
You want to do a 15-minute round flood fight just to
yeah, sure.
All right, just
It's like,
I'll figure we'll do.
like, where are these people made? Are they made in a fucking lab? Because, like, it's impossible to get a human being with such a little intelligence. Like, naturally, I believe.
Yeah, jeez.
Like even Aborigines, like, out in the middle of the fucking, like, wilderness know how to at least survive. So there's intelligence there.
Well, it's like when they wanted to defund the police,
And
this-
then,
I'll give you a
crime
good
shot up, and then they decided to make bail 0, and crime shot up again. Oh, fucking good wonder why that fucking failed.
Well, and I remember Sam Harris, who's become like deranged because he hates Trump, but like he had a great quote about that. Having a government, you know, for all of their flaws, but having like a government where like they have the ability to like have some type of force that keeps the social contract going is probably the most important like development in human history since we separated the hand that we eat with and the hand we wipe our ass with. It's like prehistory. It's like you do need like a monopoly. You do need a force that is like has a overall like ability to like keep a society running. Now, obviously, like my opinion is we just need the bare minimum of that.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't have like an oppressive.
Yeah, we
oppressive
should not
state.
have the government overreach that we have. It's too much.
But we do need. But then you seen that clip, like even Austin said it, like the Doom version of that police officer. It's like if that cop wasn't there, that lady probably would have went to like her neighbors and started killing people.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that big black lady.
Yeah, I didn't even I literally just found out about that. What the fuck happened with that? Like a lady just like walked up the hall with a fucking knife and chased down a police officer?
She had a mental break and like she was threatening to kill people. So he like I guess they had like a social worker there and they had to call the police. And then she opens the door. He actually is incredibly I think almost a fault. Yeah. He was like
it's always the good cops that get into these situations.
He got sliced in his face. Like the clip, I saw the full clip. He was like drenched in blood. He was actually kind of like disoriented because like she really deeply sliced his face, and he probably lost like a pint of blood. Which, you know, if you lose a pint of blood out of your face, you're gonna be disoriented. So like he basically had to shoot her to survive. Yeah. Like, because she probably, if she had hit him again, she probably would have sliced his throat because that's what she was going for. So it's like, okay, yeah, you know what? It's tough that like a human being had to die, but that
she chose violence first, and if anybody tries to claim racism off of that, you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, well, that has happened.
Of course that happened because people are so fucking retarded.
But and most of the time you hear that shit though, like obviously there's like black woke activists, they'll say that shit just because they're fucking retards. But like the worst offenders and the most like loudest voices about that shit are always like these white liberals who are like,
well, they probably like immediately without missing a beat probably said the cop should have died and she should have lived.
No, but he shouldn't have went there because he has a gun and she has a knife.
You know what? Next time this happens, I hope some bitch, the exact same like her, goes room to room and kills 5 people because of your fucking stupid mouth. Jesus, these people need to shut up.
That's just that's just equity.
It's all-inclusive murder. Congratulations.
Oh my God, that's a beautiful term. We gotta save that.
All-inclusive murder. Everybody gets to die today thanks to your political activism. Thank you, dumbass.
That's Art the Clown from Terrifier. That's the red
Look, I'm an equal opportunity murderer. I'm not even sure how Art sounds.
I know those movies are horrifically like gory, but it is funny to see the clips of like where Art is like somewhat wholesome.
Oh, come on. Splatterfests are fun in their own way.
Oh, they are, and people are whiny about it.
It's like people like trying to like say like kind of like be embarrassed about Freddy versus Jason in retrospect. I'm like, no, fuck you. That was a fun movie. I loved it.
Look, there's people that can't handle those movies, and that's why you have the ability to not go and see it. Nobody is forcing you to sit through Terrifier 3. and I heard about the opening scene. Do you want me to like spoil it because it is kind of like look at can I tell people what happens in the opening because I have heard about it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, he kills the family and he has the fucking intestines hanging from a tree, and it's like, well, look,
That's literally how Scream opened, except it was one person, not a family.
well, he was feeling extra he's feeling extra seasonal, extra jovial in the hall. It's apparently a Christmas
That
movie.
cocksucker
I mean,
Ghostface thinks he's better than me. That was back in like 2005, wasn't it? Still matters to me.
yeah. Look, those aren't even my like type of movie that I would like go out of my way to see, but I'm almost tempted to see it just because how whiny people are.
Hey, like
You know what I mean?
they're playing it at the drive-in theater that we got local. You want to go see it?
I wouldn't be against it as long as our other drive-in person that the okay, I don't want to dox anybody, but if the other person that we went to see Joker with would like to go, that'd be cool.
Oh, you're talking about my pop?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to dox people. I'm trying to be very
My dad
cautious.
is my dad. That's not dox worthy.
Yes. All right. Now
My father.
Now they know you're. Now they know you're a human being, Fred.
Shit! I told them my dad's name. It's Dad. Oh Christ!
Well, once again, I don't know what he. Well, then again, you guys saw Little Bites, and apparently
That movie was fucking bizarre. Like, I gave you a plot synopsis. Right?
Did the monster end up eating her in the end?
No. So okay, here's okay. Just for posterity on stream because I'm not sure if I've talked about this yet. Me and my dad went to go see what was the first movie? Beetlejuice, Joker 2,
Pretty good.
and
Terrible.
yeah, and Little Bites, which is like kind of an indie horror flick. Ray was there too. He stayed for Beetlejuice and Joker 2, but he went home because it was pretty late by the time Little Bites starts. So here's the movie. Like it's gonna sound bizarre, but I'm gonna start out with this. It's kind of like a sort of female empowerment, womanhood, sort of motherhood movie. And it's not actually a bad premise. It doesn't make it annoying. It's not like rah rah girl power. It's actually a pretty harrowing film, but it's a very bizarre film because basically this woman is protecting her daughter like from this like gremlin she has in the basement, like this sort of elvish sort of demon she's in the basement. And like it's intonated in the movie. It doesn't explain why he's there, but explains like basically she has a deal with this demon that he takes little bites. The name of the movie. He takes little bites out of her every day as sort of like payment for him leaving her daughter the fuck alone. And throughout the whole entire movie, this lady is basically trying to convince this, like, cause she thinks she's dying. And she's basically trying to convince this demon to, like, leave her and her family the fuck alone. And, like, eventually she hits a point where she's like, I'll feed you other people. And, like, just to not spoil everything, like, she basically, tries to take a guy home. That doesn't work. But then the child protection agency lady is like coming to her house because apparently her friend snitched because she thought either she was abusing her daughter or like someone was abusing her and her daughter. So basically, this child protection lady keeps coming back to her house, and after she makes a deal to feed someone to the demon, she locks the child protection lady in the basement with the demon, and she gets eaten.
Oh.
And shit.
Do they show the eating?
No, it's basically behind the door, but we'll get to that. Like, you don't actually get to see it, but you get to see her open the door. And, like, I'm just going to finish off the stream just explaining this movie. And basically, the demon's covered in blood, and he ate her, and, like, all that. And, like, fine, good, dandy. She's still got to either still let him keep taking little bites or feed him something else. Well, she goes to the park in the movie, and she meets, like, an old lady. And, like, she gives her a whole diatribe. I don't remember the exact words, but it's like, you stand next to them, you stand behind them, and then you stand in front of them to protect them. You stand next to them when they're going through struggles, and then
Is that what your dad meant when he sent that text?
yeah. But then, like, eventually she says, you stand behind them when you need their help. And, like, she basically asks, like, when does part 3 happen? And she says, well, if anything, it should be right about now. And then, like, you see the camera pan down, and she's got bites all up her arm. So apparently this has happened before. So, like, this is a common thing in this world for, like, mothers randomly getting this fucking basement demon to fucking bother them. Well, eventually, like, after that, she gets her kid back home. Like, and her mother's kind of a bitch, but, like, there was a good moment where, like, her mother was, like, being overly critical, and her daughter goes, do you hate me? And she, like, her mother literally just stops, and she's like, no. Why would you think I hate you? I love you. And it's like that overbearing mother trope, but it actually, like, brings it kind of full circle. Just, like, she's overbearing, but she's like this because she really gives a shit, even though she's kind of a fucking bitch. But I digress. So basically, she gets her daughter home, and she tells her, okay, honey, remember when I told you there's, like, monsters under the bed? When I told you there's no such thing as monsters under the bed? Well, in this case, there is. And she goes into the basement with a little girl, and the demon's not there. The demon's just gone. For whatever reason, he's fucking gone out of nowhere. But it's not the end of the movie yet. So she's like, oh, demon's gone. Like, I faced him with my daughter. And finally, we'll be free. Well, for whatever reason, like, she gets into the shower, and for whatever reason, the demon comes around wearing, like, John Lennon glasses and a fedora, knocks on the door, and he's like, is your mother home? No, my mother's in the shower right now. Why? Oh, can you just tell her? A friend stopped by. Tell her my name, and you must say it exactly correctly, all right? And I forget his name, but he tells the little girl the name. And, like, she goes to her mother and tells her the name, and she starts to freak the fuck out. And they go back in the basement, and she shuts the door. And, like, the demon walks them in the room, and the walls start bleeding all of a sudden, and everything just starts going crazy. And you're like, oh, this is where it happens. This is where the ending comes. No, the door just opens back up. And, like, the little girl just looks at her mom, and she's like, we need to fight it. We need some weapons, Mom. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, never once did you ever think maybe I should just try to kill the fuck out of this thing? Maybe I should try and stab it. But, like, legit, and, like, literally it took her daughter saying this, like, we gotta fight it. So they go upstairs and they grab, like, kitchen knives. And the monster's standing in the kitchen. You're thinking, like, you're watching this movie, you're thinking, oh, here's where it goes down. They're gonna boogie on down and fight this fucking monster, kung fu style. They're gonna stab it in the face. Like, no, he just starts talking and I guess hypnotizes the mom. And she kind of crawls up to the monster. And, like, the monster takes a big bite out of her neck. And she tells her daughter to run away. And it's like, oh no, she's sacrificing herself. But then all of a sudden the little girl, like, starts walking up the same way, and you're like, oh no, did she get hypnotized too? And then the little girl just bites a big chunk out of the monster's neck. Like, then the mom and the daughter just start eating the monster. Like, just... They just, out of nowhere, they just fucking eat the fucking monster. And, like this whimsical music is playing as they're literally just eating this thing alive. And, like, then it just cuts to credits.
Yeah.
And then, like, midway through the credits, it like, flashes to, like, the mom sitting on the couch. And she goes to the front door. And it's her daughter, like, assumably all grown up. And she just says, hey, Mom. Then it cuts back to credits. And it's like, am I supposed to just think that that's okay? Happily ever after? No, they just ate a fucking creature demon in the basement that ate a CPS worker. Oh, and I forgot to mention, they send another fucking CPS worker. to check up on the daughter, and like it's because the first one never checked up with her fucking with her agency because she got fucking murdered by the monster. And like the guy doesn't even question it. He's like, "When was the last time you saw my partner?" And she's like, I don't know. She left here a while ago." Like, here I was thinking he was going to come back with the cops. No, he's just like, "Okay, well, here's my card. If you hear anything about her, can you please let me know? Okay, bye-sies." And he just fucking leaves. There's nothing else after that. Like, his fucking coworker just gets eaten by a monster, and there's no follow-up.
God, she must have been a bitch to work
Yeah,
with.
that's what I was wondering. I was like, maybe she was just the one around the office who, like, took her job way too fucking seriously, but was always a fucking cunt.
Pam. Fuck Pam.
Literally, she disappears and nobody ever questions it throughout the entire rest of the movie. And I'm like, is this supposed to be...
The panel room is full.
Like, is this supposed to be a dark comedy? Because, like... Okay, I promise. I said I wouldn't spoil. I said I wouldn't spoil everything, but fuck it, I already spoiled most of the movie. Like, the first guy she tries to like feed to the monster, like, basically is like this lonely fat guy who she basically tries to proposition for sex. And she's like, "I'm pretty lonely too. Want to come back to my place?"
Jeez.
She keeps offering him stuff to eat, and he's like, "Do you want ice cream? Are you hungry at all? Do you want ice cream?" And like, she goes into the kitchen and grabs like a whole tub of vanilla ice cream and fills it with like crushed up sleeping pills and cold medicine. And this is a poor lonely fat guy who lives alone, and he owns a cat. Like, he's just this like really sympathetic like guy, and like luckily he doesn't die because like she beats him ice cream waste with sleeping pills and cold medicine, and it smash cuts to him just throwing up in a toilet and passing out, and she brings him downstairs to feed to the demon, and he takes one bite. He's like, "You taste disgusting. This thing has nothing to live for. I need something less miserable. Something with someone with something to lose." And I'm like, wow, way to kick a guy when he's down. Like, you almost feed him to the literal devil. I don't even know if he's the literal devil, but like, you literally try to feed him to a demon. Like, he just leaves. Like, I like to imagine this poor bastard just has a complex about women ever since that day. He's like, "I always wanted to date somebody, but after that, fuck no. Mittens, you're my only girl." It's such a weird fucking movie, but like, honestly, I enjoyed it in a bizarre way.
It sounds weirdly fun.
It's so bizarre because you're thinking it's going to be this like psychological surrealist thing, and then it just starts getting funny out of nowhere. Like, just like every time something happened, I would just turn to my dad. He had this shit-eating grin on my face while I'm just bawling, just dying laughing. The ending was the best punchline, and I'm not talking about the fact that little girl ate her. It's just like her showing up later in life to her mom's house, and it's like, no, get it? They had a happy ending, and it's like, fuck that. I want to know what they ate. What did they eat? They ate a demon. Are they possessed? And wait, what about the grandma? Did her and her daughter eat the demon too? Does everybody like in this town just have to eat a demon when they have a daughter? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Doesn't this almost sound like a fever dream Alex Jones would think of?
They're demons. The demons. They're trying to take your daughter away. Don't let them. You gotta eat them. You gotta eat them all. Eat their ass. Eat them ass first. Like a hyena.
You
gotta eat their butthole until the digestive tract drops out. Then you can eat the rest just fine.
I'm a real man. Don't ever look into what kind of porn I was actually viewing at InfoWars Dash. Oops.
Wait, what porn did you look at?
I don't want to get sued by the poor bastard because they're already fucking him over. Let me just double check because I don't want to miss.
Is it like CP?
No,
Okay.
just something funny. It's not.
So
It's
if it isn't anything bad, why you even give a shit? Like what the fuck? Come on, people. Porn exists.
it was
Was it like dick girl on dude?
yes,
Wait,
yes.
literally?
It was not.
No, another
No,
Nick
yeah,
Fuentes. Oh
apparently he had a
god.
window open on his phone. Naughty T Babe, Marissa something, and T Babe I guess means groom.
Is like what is with train?
I think it was.
I don't think I could watch tranny porn. Like every time I see a dick, I'm just like, I'm out.
He said it was a false
It was a
flag.
false flag. I didn't know what T-Babe meant. Honestly, you know what? Honestly, I could believe it. Like if it's just like naughty T-Babe, like what could you what could you imagine if you're just some old boomer who doesn't like who probably like is like T
I never seen a lady with that
Taiwanese
before. What's going on?
Taiwanese babe. Oh, actually, that could be just one and the same.
Well, it's Thailand. It's it's like the demilitarized zone. What happens
They
there?
said this. They said this sexy video was made in America, not in Bangkok.
Oh, we better fucking.
We better clip
go
it
on
here
a
before we
night.
lose our sanity. Oh Jesus!
We really go.
I
off.
hope people enjoy this fucking little tangent and the other fucking diatribe.
I do think we was as much of it. This was a decompression though, because we had like a hot topic discussion, the fucking finale of Resident Evil, and then this just evolved into the little bites, and then Alex Jones allegedly watching T-Bay. But yeah, hey, Fred's gonna be streaming Disco Elysium, I imagine, sometime within a not too distant future.
Possibly tomorrow. It depends on when I get home.
Maybe I should do a little bit of Yakuza 0 just to give some more, because I when I stream that game, I really just stream like the side quest stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff I think is more fun to stream anyways, because I mean, not that the story isn't wacky, but like that's the great stuff.
Well,
to stream.
usually, like I'm guilty of doing this with all my games. If there's side quests at all, like I pretty much beeline all that shit first, and then I do the story.
Yeah, and Yakuza, that's a great series to do that in. But at some point, folks, definitely by Halloween, you will see us doing some Dying Light, because that's spooky and it's scary and it's nice
Yeah.
and fun. And it look, that's a series that I'm hopeful for, because it looks like they're coming out with a big, like, technically it was expansion, but now it's just a dedicated spin-off for Dying Light.
Yeah, they're making the third one, which is gonna have Crane again. I hope they get Roger Craig Smith back.
It's also gonna have guns again.
Nice.
Which I didn't mind Dying Light 2 taking those out, but I did think the rationale for why was a little bit silly.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know. People knocked
game.
Dying Light a little too hard for my liking. I didn't think it was all that bad.
People. I thought it was a good game. I just thought it didn't necessarily hit the same way that the original did.
Yeah.
Which not every sequel needs to be like this knock it out of the park game. Sometimes it can just be like a good kind of like learning experience where like, oh, okay, we made some like improvements, we made some mistakes, but then we're gonna do something that's like.
I really like the traversal in Dying Light 2.
Oh yeah, there was more positives than negatives in that game. I just think that people didn't get the exact thing that they had wanted.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes like.
Well, honestly, I bet you people, which I don't blame them, because it was a really fucking good expansion. I bet you people were thinking they were just going to get the following again.
Yeah.
Because that fucking DLC for Dying Light, oh my god, it's so good. Like just the way that they add.
It kind of eclipses the.
Well, they made such a big map, and it's like they gave you the buggy car, and it wasn't like completely empty, and there was like super enemy. It was just so good.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I think.
Are we gonna make? Oh yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, are we planning on making Dying Light into a full video, or did you just want to like just play it to shoot the shit?
I'd say let's shoot the shit and see where it takes us.
I'd love to play through that game again. Hell, it would give me a reason to finish Dying Light 2 if we wanted to continue.
It really isn't that. I mean, it's really probably wouldn't be much longer than our Resident Evil
playthrough.
Oh
yeah.
I mean, you can make Dying Light into a very long game, but I don't think we're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It really wouldn't be a bad thing if we do, because there's just so much that happens in that game that we could. We'll talk. But I'm gonna call it a night. I think you're gonna call it a
Oh
night.
yeah,
But,
I'm probably gonna I'm probably gonna decompress. Maybe play a little Code Vein. I don't know if Wally's streaming tonight. Probably not.
look up that. Just don't look up that T babe, Fred.
Like honestly, like misclick or not, who fucking cares? Like at this point,
It's demons. The demons put it on my phone.
like actually,
That is.
like
Listen.
let me actually ask.
They've
Oh,
basically.
yeah, go ahead.
It's terrible that, like, okay, yeah, there's things that Alex Jones said that I don't agree with, but to bankrupt the man over things that he might not have should have said, but that's such fucking bullshit
Yeah.
that they did that to the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry for interjecting, but that was an important aside.
Well, it's just like at this point, it's unironic that like somehow like Alex Jones has become the counterculture. Like more and more, like the more they try to like smack this guy down, like I have a feeling like this man's gonna come back like a phoenix.
I'm back, and I'm Ewan.
I'm back, and here's that T-babe, Miranda.
She's on my show now.
How heavily has Alex Jones come out like as like? Let me put it this way: has Alex Jones been like heavily like anti-trans, or is he just anti like kids turning into trans?
Yeah, I don't think he has a problem with, like, I don't think Alex Jones has a problem with any group of people in particular. You know, even though there's like the famous clip of him turning the frogs gay and whatever. Like, I think he has a problem with people. I think he's just like most reasonable fucking human beings, where he has a problem where it's fine if someone is an adult and chooses to do that, but the problem is when they force that onto children that might not know any better and are, you know, basically having their lives destroyed. Once they realize what had actually, because it is an abuse. It's like, you want to talk about
well, you hear about him talking about abortion and stuff, and he's like very like honest. He's very like he is very pro protecting the kids, because like he's like they take these babies and they set them aside and they figure out what they're gonna do with them, and they suck all the organs out and they turn them down into biomass and they turn them into stem cells.
Yeah, which has happened.
Happens a lot. What's funny is like everybody talks about like stem cell research and how good stem cell research will be for the rest of the world. Where's all that stem cell research? Why hasn't medical like practice, I don't know, advanced at all? You got all these fucking baby corpses.
Like the cure for cancer.
I think these people are lying to me again.
Yeah, but it also could be like, oh, that shit's on a shelf somewhere, and they just don't want people to have it, like the cure for cancer.
They're definitely trying to like drop the population heavily on purpose. That's why we got COVID.
Oh yeah. Well,
but hey, have that little existential crisis on your own, folks. We're gonna get on off here. But anybody who joined in, like either here on YouTube, Dead Wars or Dead Man, or however you find me, or whatever way you find me, I'm pretty sure both of my accounts are actually called Dead Wars. On YouTube, it's Dead War. Okay.
That's the war to end all wars.
But without further ado, anybody who joined us tonight, thanks for joining. Anybody who's coming back on a return trip, thanks for coming back. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for joining, and have a happy rest of your day.
Sayonara, folks. Have a good one, Fred.
You too.